Hello. So this is my tutorial on doing the Russian color join. Super useful method of joining yarn, and my favorite actually. So you'll need your yarn. For the sake of the demonstration, I'm using two different colors, but usually they're the same colors. Pair of scissors, needle threader, and darning needle. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your yarn, you're going to thread the needle. There's some real benefits to this form of color joining that I will tell you in a second. Okay, so I know from experience that this part of my thumb is about exactly an inch, so I tend to use it a lot for measuring. So you're going to use any measurement tool that you like, but 1, 2, 3. So usually you do about 3 inches there. I'm going to take my other colored yarn and put it at this point here. Okay, now I'm going to take my darning needle and I'm going to start picking out the different plies here like this. I'm just going to keep threading these on, and you'll see I'm missing one ply and then picking up the next. That's about the easiest way I find. This method doesn't work very well with single ply. Don't use it if you think there's a possibility you're going to have to unjoin anything. It's a really strong join, but that's one of the benefits. And you don't have to weave in ends after, which is also really lovely. The other thing you need to know is for the section of yarn that you've joined, it will be twice as thick. So it's great for, let's say, joining yarn on the soles of a sock where you don't want a knot, because feet can be pretty sensitive. But you just need to know and be able to live with the fact that you'll have a little bit of an area of your work that'll be a tiny bit thicker. So as you can see, I'm just kind of bunching up all the joints here. Okay, that should be about enough. So you slide these. It doesn't really matter how long the blue section is for the blue section. The other part is at this point. Just kind of slowly slide all of this through. So what you're basically doing is feeding one end of the yarn back in over itself. See how that's working? So you just kind of smooth that down. It doesn't look very elegant now, but you don't really see the difference once you knit with it. Okay, and you'll notice here there's a little bit of a tail. If you find that for whatever reason the tail starts coming out, you can always snip the tail off afterwards. So now you're left with the other side. So again, I'm going to go about 3 inches down. 1, 2, 3. That's about right. Okay, I think that's about 3 inches. As you can see, I made a mistake there in terms of what I measured, but that's the joy of knitting, is you can make mistakes and recover from it, right? So we're just going to, and then you're going to follow the same process. You're just going to feed the tail back in on itself, sort of like a snake eating itself, if you'd like. So again, and the key to this is coming right close up to there, okay? Because you don't want a lot of gaps between where the actual join is. And again, you're going to sort of miss every second strand. Just keep bunching it up. It's a super strong join, really hard to get apart, which has its benefits and detriments, as I said. I love the fact that you don't really have to go back and weave in the ends. My tolerance for doing that's a lot higher than it used to be, but it's still not my favorite part of work. And you just keep bunching it up here. If you choose to use this as the color join for the cast off for the Skeena cowl that I've designed, as I said, just note that the yarn is a bit thicker where it's been joined, so you're going to have to Be a little bit careful as you feed it through the live stitches as you're casting off. And if you haven't seen my other video on the modified Chinese waitress cast off, you won't necessarily know what I'm talking about now, but you're free to go and look it up on YouTube. There we go. We'll just bunch this up. I tend to pick up way more than I. So you see how it's right up against the actual joint itself. You just kind of gently smooth it down like this. Super strong join. You can see that this is about twice as thick as the other strands. But once you knit with it, you'll be able to feel a slight difference, but it's a really nice join to work with. So there you go. That is the Russian color join. And if you have any messages, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at knitandnatrixdesigns@gmail.com or knitandnatrixdesign on Ravelry.com. Have a great knitting experience.